Ah, 2020. Now, what can I say that hasn't already been said about this wonderful, beautiful, calm, just world uniting year that we've had? And the best thing to describe it is crap. It was total and utter garbage. Everything about this year has just been one just pile of crap after another. And you know what? Regardless of how you feel about the pandemic, about the climate, the US climate, the world climate, about origins of anything, about whose fault is whose, regardless of how you feel any of that, I would say the single most thing that has ruined this year and made it way worse than it could have been and should have been is people. Versus whether it's on social media, whether it's in the streets, whether it's at the stores, people have made this year worse and honestly made me lose faith in people way more than it should have. Now, I've seen more people when you're in the grocery store, they're cutting you off, they're bumping into you, and basically you get no apologies. You're not getting any kind of, oh, sorry, you didn't see you there. You get nothing. And honestly, I'm pretty sure that it's having a mask on has made people basically think that, oh, I can do anything because now people can't see my face as well, And it's interesting. It's interesting to see what really people are, or well, who people really are and what they're capable of when they can hide behind something. And obviously, we've seen it on social media through the internet for ages, and this year has just been expounded even more. I've seen more people leave social media this year than any other, and whether it's because of the pandemic, or whether it's because of the election, the political climate that we're in right now, it's been an eventful year. Let's just leave it at that. I would say that if for me, it was one that there's obviously been a lot of hardships for everybody. I've been blessed. I would say, especially and lucky compared to most that it hasn't affected things too much for myself. But it's one that I'm ready to put the year behind me. That's for sure. It's one I'm really excited for what 2020 has in store. And these last couple of weeks with the holidays, and then with the new year coming up here in a couple of days, or well, as of this recording, might be tomorrow, depending on when I get it up. I'm excited. I'm excited for the new year. So as I've been thinking about it, I'm thinking, what are my highlights of 2020? And there has been a lot. Not all of them gaming related. One of the big ones is this room that I'm in, and subsequently my living room right next out of this door here is my basement. I have finished my basement. It was just bare bones, concrete, nothing up, no guts, nothing to work with, and yeah, I finished it all 100% by myself. Well, yeah, I think I had some people come by for little things, give some help a little bit, and some I guess more so advice. I did have a lot of help with it, a lot of help in terms of advice and checking on things. Had people that actually knew what they were doing, and licensed people that knew electrical, knew plumbing, that kind of thing. So obviously not 100% myself, but in terms of the work itself, yes. It was all, and it was a big accomplishment. I was really happy about that. And for one, I am going to do a game room tour. Probably won't be this year, just because it ends here soon. But there's a few things I want to get still set up. But it's kind of exciting. I've got a good setup just for here, where I do a lot of YouTube stuff. But I do where I work as well. But I do have a lot of game stuff hung up, and then all of my game systems are out there. I got a really nice setup that. Well, like watch movies, play games together, that kind of thing, and it's kind of nice. I'm pretty proud of some of the stuff I've done, so it's gonna be exciting to do that video. All right, so in this video, I just kind of wanted to go over, for one, my top games that I played this year. Now, I do believe most of them did come out this year, but I know one of them didn't, and I know one really didn't. It's been out for quite a while, but it's the games that I played the most this year. I had the most fun with. And overall, what I think were the best ones that I played. So we'll go over those. And then to end it, I just wanted to go over just the couple of games that I'm hoping to see in 2021, and ones that, granted, I don't think they will be, but I'm excited for either way. And if they do come, I'm going to be, very pleasantly surprised. Here's hoping to next year being a lot better for myself and hopefully for all of you guys. And so let's get right into it. So my first one, I've played on and off for a while now. It's one that I can pick up just kind of whenever, and it kind of gives you that, like, what's happened so far anytime whenever you pick it up, especially if there's a long amount of time in between. So it is nice because you can always kind of get a refresher of where you're at, and that is Dragon Quest XI: Echoes of an Elusive Age Definitive Edition on the Switch. So, and the funny thing is, I do have this on the PS4, and that's originally what I was playing it on. I think I was maybe 15 hours in, so honestly not very far. And then this one came out, and I'm like, why wouldn't I want to play it portably? So I double dipped, picked it up again, and I've played a lot of it very recently. Probably this last month, I probably put the most time into this. I think I'm probably maybe 30 or 40 hours in, and man, it's a blast. It's one that, I think any type of gamer that's into RPGs could have fun with this. Maybe not as much as others if they're more of an action RPG fan or a strategy RPG fan, but this genre is basically it's a definitive RPG of the genre. It's traditional, but it has a lot of new mechanics to it. It has such a wide variety of things that you can do that really, if you really put your mind to it, you would never get bored with it in that aspect of the things you can do. But I've had a lot of fun with it, and hopefully, I definitely won't finish it this year, but 2021 is definitely my year to finish this game. Next one, Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition again. Now, obviously, this is a port. It came out on the Wii originally. I never played on that. My first time experiencing this game was actually on the 3DS. I think it was the first game I'd gotten when I bought my new 3DS. It was the red one. It came out on launch day, and I've got to tell you, I hated it on the 3DS. Absolutely hated it. It was one, I think it was actually my first foray into the Xenoblade games in general. And so I didn't know anything about it, didn't kind of know the power curve that it had there, and how you have such high-powered monsters like right at the beginning, and there's areas that you can explore, but you shouldn't because you're very underpowered. So I played it for maybe an hour on the 3DS, and then I never touched it again. And so I was kind of hesitant when I got to get this one, but since it was honestly, I would even say more than a remake, more of a remake than I guess a remaster. Just with how much they improved the visuals, not to include obviously the controls, since the original did come out on the Wii. But I was pleasantly surprised, and I played this game to death. I mean, I believe I got almost everything you could possibly do in it. I did almost every side mission, tried to collect everything, obviously did the whole story, and it was awesome. It was great, and I had a ton of fun with it, and it'd probably be a few years before I revisit it. Some games you can revisit a lot faster and a lot more often. This one, since I did spend so much time with it, probably won't revisit it for a while, but put so much time into it, and I had a lot of fun. All right. This one probably is, the newest game we've got on here, and one that I sunk a lot of time into in a very short amount of time, is the best way to put it. That's Demon Souls on the PS5. Demon Souls Remake. And really, there's nothing else really needs to be said about this game. For one, you've probably heard it all before. It's very much been in the spotlight. I've seen a lot of people streaming it, which I am hoping to do. And this may be what I try streaming on the maiden voyage, because I've never streamed before. So I'm working on getting that set up on my PS5 right now. But such a good game, so solid, such a good, especially for that introduction into the Souls genre. That for me it was back on the PS3. For a lot of people, this may have been your initial foray into it, and it's a great place to start. In some ways, I would say it is harder than the Dark Souls games, but in a lot of ways, it is easier. And I would say if you've never played any of them before, obviously, well, if you can get a PS5, then this is the place to start. If you can't, I would really, because since I'm playing through all of them right now, I would go basically try the Dark Souls 1, Dark Souls 3, this one, Bloodborne, and then probably Dark Souls 2. And that's mainly because I'm in Dark Souls 2 right now, and overall, it's just boring. It's crap. But Demon's Souls, fantastic game. The visuals were just top-notch, phenomenal, especially with the PS5 just barely coming out. The visuals that they've been able to achieve with that, I'm so excited to see what they can do in the future. But with that haptic feedback and the sensors that the DualSense controller has, made this game so immersive and so beautiful to play. And so, honestly, I'll probably keep playing it. I just started the New Game Plus, so really excited, and this will definitely be one to keep playing in the new year. And my final game, should be, well, for anybody that knows me, it should be no surprise. But if you don't, Final Fantasy VII Remake. It took the story, expanded on it in so many levels and in so many ways, changed things up enough that I honestly still don't know how I feel about it. But really we have to just wait until we see where it goes. We see where it ends. That's really the only way to really give a good, well, I guess, honestly, review of the entire story of what the changes did and how they impacted it and how it overall worked compared to the original. But visually, there's nothing bad to say about this game. I mean, it is beautiful. Inside, out, nothing about this game I thought was terrible. Even the biggest thing I saw people complain about were, or I guess regard to some of the story elements, because some people weren't fans of it, were a lot of the hidden loading times, where you're crawling either on your belly or to the side to get to a new area, and so they kind of slow things down to kind of hide that loading time, so you didn't have just loading screens. And honestly, I didn't notice it. Playing through, it never bothered me to the point that I'm all like, oh, this is crap, I'm just sitting here waiting and just, sitting there shimmying along a crack in the wall. But it took everything from the original, it took the story, the characters, and just made it so beautiful and so vibrant and modern. And that's the biggest thing I like about it. And it took that classic genre that I love, I grew up with, and I will always love, but it brought it to such a modern audience that I think made it expand into the point of people are going to appreciate Final Fantasy a lot more just because of this game. And hopefully that leads them into other Final Fantasies, whether it's this original one or some of the older ones. Final Fantasy VI, if anybody hasn't played that game and wants to experience a good Super Nintendo era RPG that's just solid in every way, get that game. But hopefully this one did that to some people, brought them into the genre if they haven't, brought some people, well, I wouldn't say peace or closure, because it's definitely left it open-ended in terms of what's going next. But I hope this game brought some light, I guess you could say, into the dark tunnel that has been this year. So it definitely has for me, and I'm really excited for what the future holds for that franchise. All right, now for 2021, it's going to be interesting. I will say that much. It's a year that everyone is hoping is better than this last one, and I do think it will be for a lot of reasons. You have the vaccine that's coming out that hopefully should put a spread to that, and if nothing else, get people the peace of mind that they can actually stop living in fear and start living their lives again, getting out there, visiting their family, and not letting something cripple them to such a degree that they lose everything, and we've seen that too much this year. And so I'm really hoping that the new year brings peace to a lot of people. It brings peace to veterans. It brings peace to anybody that's struggling. And it's one that I'm going to say it's going to be a great year. It's going to be an optimistic year, and hopefully full of video games and full of great games that we've been waiting for a long time. I would say three games are the only ones that I'm hoping for to come, and that is the Breath of the Wild sequel and Metroid Prime 4. Now, that's, out of the two, I would say we have a lot better chance of Breath of the Wild 2 coming out versus Metroid Prime 4. And That's just because, from what it looks like, they are using the same engine as Breath of the Wild, so they're not building everything from the ground up. They already got a lot of the visuals. They already got a lot of the basically the bedrock, the foundation of a game, and then he's got to build it. So I would most likely speculate. I honestly can't remember if they've said how long they've been working on it, but I could very well see that one coming out this year, and I do think it will, just based on the fact that it is the 35th anniversary of The Legend of Zelda from when the first one came out. And so it would be a perfect year for a new one to come out and have a couple of collections, and different things like that. So Metroid Prime 4, I mean, I've been hoping for anything new Metroid for the Switch since it came out. I mean, either a new 2D Metroid, the Metroid Prime trilogy that's been rumored for years and years, and at this point, I've given up hope. The final game, that I don't have high hopes that it will come out in 2021, but nevertheless, I'm going to keep hoping every year, every month until a game does come out, and that's Final Fantasy 16. Now, I did a video on it back, I think it was my second video for the channel, and it looks so good, and it looks such a return to form compared to a lot of the futuristic games, futuristic Final Fantasies that have come out over the last, I guess, handful of years, that I'm really excited for it to get it back to those medieval roots, so back to the a lot more fantasy element versus trying to do the sci-fi stuff. So I am super stoked for any new info to come out for that, and I can guarantee they are going to have at least some info, whether it's a new trailer showing off some more of the either the world, the gameplay, the combat system, the icon system with the dominants that control them, and any news is good news for that aspect. But that's what I'm hoping. If it comes out next year, hands down, it makes 2021 a good year. So with that, I've just got to say, to sum everything up, 2020 is crap, and let's hope 2020 is better. Until the next time, guys, we'll talk to you later.